Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I have a microphone. I
Yes,
suppose. My name is Suna Tam. Thank you so much for your comments. My question is, how do you balance being open for business with combating climate change?
I can mention that Greenland is open for trade. And in terms of climate change, indeed, there are challenges facing us, and our country is 70% of our energy derives from clean energy, and we have the aim of reaching 100%. And in terms of development, in terms of businesses and developing fisheries and tourism, and for minerals extraction, and for other types of business, if we are to have be restricted, then we could ask ourselves if Greenland could be developed. These possibilities, that we want to utilize these possibilities as best as possible with the best tools from the world, and also to minimize impact on the environment and for the health of people, and for the social impacts it might have. So we have to look into these matters thoroughly, but I can mention to you that in Greenland, the fisheries, 92% of the fisheries we derive our budget of 92% in the fisheries, but what is being caught in Greenland altogether, they are comparable to, we do not even exceed the bycatch of the EU. So we work hard and look at other countries and which are the culprits, and identify which ones are the culprits. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, Luke Coffey with the Heritage Foundation in Washington, D.C. Whenever we talk about US-Greenlandic relations, it's always in the context of security. But how can we expand this discussion to include other areas, such as increasing economic cooperation, scientific collaboration, cultural exchanges? There must be much more we can do in the bilateral relationship, which will ultimately help improve security and increase security, but not necessarily focus specifically and only on security. Thank you.
Thank you for your question also. I can say that that over the recent years we have had talks with, we have had declarations with the United States, the Illegal and Digital Declaration, and we've had looked into possibilities for education and other areas. And students from Greenland who wishes to go to study at the United States are welcome to do so. And we want to expand this, and that is true, and we have to do something about it. It is an important question for our development, and I can say that in our country, in Greenland, 62% of the workforce does not have an education. 12.5% have a high education, and 26.1% have a trade education and have undergone high schools and so on. Therefore, the 62.8%, we have to find an education for them. And the English language is also very important in terms of education, and how can we bring this about. And we say we are welcoming everyone, but we should keep in mind that Greenland, the rules and laws apply in Greenland, the Greenlandic rules and laws, and this should be respected. We should find possibilities. As I mentioned earlier, 62.8% does not have an education, but among them are many fishermen who have been fishing all their lives, who have an income over 1 million Danish kroner per year, and they are doing very well.
Do we have a question from this part of the hall?
Sorry, Mark Champion at Bloomberg. So I take your point entirely that Greenland is not for sale. It's a very honorable position. But I remember thinking at the time when this came up, I think everyone was surprised, but thinking, I can't imagine there isn't, a person in Greenland who isn't doing the math right now about how much they might end up with if you were to distribute the price that the US might pay to the 56,000 people, I think it is, who live in Greenland. Have you ever done that calculation? Have you ever had that discussion with your citizens about just how much money would be involved?
In short, I will answer this in short. We are not for sale, and we cannot be valued, estimated. You cannot exchange Greenland with money.
It might be appropriate to end there, but I will take one more question.
My name is Maria. I come from the high northwest of Iceland. I would like to change entirely the subject into a question that goes, how much effort do the Danish put in to help you out with establishing windmills, for example? Thank you.
How much do the Danes help you with?
I can't understand, so Nuka has to help me.
Oh, I see. Okay. I will give you this, yes.
On Icelandic? No.
Jeg kan også sige det på dansk.
The interpreter is giving
Ja,
them
men jeg kan også snakke dansk. Ja?
Nuka. Nuka.
It's quite funny when the Danes are mentioned, the translation goes off. Anyhow, we are not going to spend time on these technical difficulties. We will try to correct that. I think it's proper to end on the previous question. Have you got the question? Okay, good.
It was about birds?
No, about Okay, let's thank the Prime Minister for this. Good.
It's about the windmill.
Yeah.
I can say to you that that windmills and utilizing the sea currents and others, we are looking into these matters and see what we can do. But we know that the Danes are very good and far advanced in terms of windmills, and these possibilities will also be included. But you should remember that in Greenland we do not have slight winds; we have very harsh winds, and then we have no winds, so they will seasonally make a lot of electricity and then stand by the rest. So for the next 4 years, we are going to make look into these matters, and we look forward to see what the conclusions can be. And I can say to you that last year, in the northernmost, one of the northernmost communities, for the first time, they were able to have electricity. So they have minus 40 degrees Celsius in winter, and it's already dark now where they live. and this was the first time they had a source for energy last year. So one telephone, they have one telephone, a satellite phone. Therefore, we have taken significant steps, but we are looking into hydroelectric and wind power, and we are looking into it. And it's very important and identify the areas where it is possible, and whoever are interested in participating are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was great. Thanks.